for the course of last 2 months now, and that is whether import of IT hardware like laptop, whether there is a restriction, whether there is going to be some sort of import license that you need it, you don't need it, there's a pushback, 1 month, 2 month, what is happening finally, Kartik?
Your guess, Shweta, is as good as mine, as good as anybody else's. So I think, I suspect there are two possible scenarios right now. Scenario number one, the government never intended to put a license.
Okay.
And that is what the Commerce Secretary is saying now, that, maybe it's shy of being compared with the pre-1991 pre-liberalization license, Raj, and is now soft wording it. But let's give the government a benefit of doubt and maybe assume that a license was actually never required. What was perhaps required was that you just inform the government, fill up a form through a portal, and seek their permission that I want to import, so-and-so brand of such and such laptops from this country or that country. The government said, I just need to be in the know of where are you importing your laptops from and how much are you importing. So this is one side. The other side is that obviously the government wanted to restrict it. The government wanted to only get Indian companies to go with trusted partners and sort of, arm twist international brands to make in India rather than import from India and import from the world and sell in India. And which is why so many PLI applications, almost 40 PLI applications filed, and the government was supposed to announce in the first week of October which are the companies which are going to be eligible to seek that PLI benefit or avail that PLI benefit. And now, so maybe the government said that we need to restrict it, we need to add a license, and now it's realizing that is likely to bounce back. And we may be compared to pre-1991 pre-liberalization license, Raj, and hence it has withdrawn it. So either of the two, either there was, what the Commerce Secretary is saying now, that there was never a license, there was never any restriction. Just tell us where are you importing from, fill up a form, and we will say go ahead and import. Or it did want to import, it did want to put a license, Raj, it did want to put restrictions, and is now taking very, very gradual steps back. First by way of extending the deadline, and now saying, hey, it was never there.
So it comes up with a restriction, let's not call it license if that's not what the government wants, but it comes up with some sort of restriction saying you have to inform the government if you're importing from other countries outside of India. Then it says, okay, fine, we'll give you 1 more month, so we shift the deadline to 31st
Parallelly,
of
we open
October.
PLI, that make in India, make in India, make in India, we will support you to make in India.
And this at a time when entire community of people who manufacture laptops are constantly ringing, knocking the doors of the government saying, what is this? Explain this to us, this to us. We don't understand it. Is it a license? Is it a restriction? Can we not import? You have the American government in India coming to attend G20 stating that we don't like this sort of a restriction. It will hurt American companies here in India. You get 38 applications for PLI. Suddenly you're saying there is no more license, Raj. It's as confusing as it gets for everybody out here. But my guess is that perhaps after a lot of backlash, government finally has decided to rethink an import license.
That's what it seems like, Shweta, but let's give the government a benefit of doubt and say, go with what the Commerce Secretary is saying, suggesting that there was no license, Raj, there were no restrictions. Just inform us. Just inform us. We just need to know.